You're not ungrateful. You're awake. This is the Dignity Room, a place that's always yours. Come in.
Let me guess, you knew the answer in about 10 seconds. And whatever it was, let's say the sofa, the job offer, whether to go to the thing on Friday, some part of you knew almost immediately. And then you spent the next 2 days or more not trusting that you knew. You ask a family member, you ask some group, you read reviews, you found someone who've done it before and ask them. And then you ask one more person just to be sure. And then when you finally decided, you landed almost exactly where you started, right back in those first 10 seconds. So, all that asking, it was never really about finding the answer. You had the answer. It was about not being allowed to trust that it was yours. So let me ask you something. When did that happen? When did you stop believing the part of you that just knows? The last episode was about freedom, about being able to actually choose your own life. And maybe you heard that and thought, lovely idea, but I can't even pick a paint color without 3 opinions. How am I supposed to choose the big things? So that's fair. Here's what nobody tells you. You can't choose if you don't trust your own judgment. Choice needs a chooser. Someone in there who knows what she wants and believes herself enough to act on it. And for you, I would guess that person has gone quiet. Not gone, quiet. There's still a voice in you that knows. It knew in those 10 seconds, or about the bigger things too. It's that thing that goes, there's something off. Or maybe this little flicker in your gut right before you talk yourself out of it. Or the thing you feel in your body. So a full second before your mind starts producing reasons. You still have it. You've just spent years teaching yourself not to listen. And today I want to spend on how that happened and, more importantly, on how it comes back, because it does come back. Okay, so let's walk through how this happens, because it's never one moment, it's 1,000 small ones. So probably it starts early and you had a feeling about something. Let's say maybe a person or a situation. It's like a no that roses up in you, and some adult you trusted said, don't be dramatic, or you overreacting, or hey, be nice. And you learned something. You learned my read on this isn't reliable. So better check with someone who actually knows. And it kept going. At work, you sensed a project was heading for trouble. And maybe you even said so, and you got told you were being negative, and then it went wrong, exactly the way you felt it would. But by then, everyone had moved on, and nobody remembered that you were the one who called it. Or in relationships. So you felt something was off, and you brought it up, and you were told you were imagining things or too sensitive, reading too much into it. And maybe after enough times, you started to wonder if you really were. So here comes this cruel part. Every time you overrode that feeling and it turned out you were right, you didn't get to learn trust yourself. Because the moment had passed, everyone had moved on, and really sitting with the fact that you knew would mean admitting you would talk yourself out of your own knowing. Again. So you didn't sit with it. You buried it and kept going. And the voice, it isn't stupid. Yeah, I mean, it's you. It learns. And it learns it's going to get outvoted. That speaking up just leads to being told it's wrong. So it stops speaking up. Not because it stopped knowing things, but because it stopped accepting that you take its side. And that's the part I really want you to hear. Your intuition didn't fail you. It got outvoted over and over until it went quiet to protect itself. Okay, this is important. So now we have a woman who doesn't trust her own reads on things, and she still has to make decisions because, of course, life doesn't wait, right? So what does she do? She outsources, and this can be a dangerous thing. So she asked her friends, or sister, or a group, or she looked it up on the internet, or like she asked AI, or she reads 40 reviews and she finds an expert, and then she finds a second expert because the first one didn't say the thing she weighed. And here's what actually happening underneath. Half of the time, you are not looking for information at all. You already have the information. You are looking for permission. You want someone else to say the thing you already feel, so that if it goes wrong, it's not only on you. So this is a hard one to accept sometimes. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. Almost every woman I knew does some version of this. So me too. But I do want to name what it costs. Every single time you ask everyone but yourself, you send yourself a quiet message. My knowing doesn't count. I need a real authority here, and that's never me. And you drift further and further from the one instrument that's actually turned to your life. Because here's what your sister doesn't have, or what the group chat doesn't have, what the expert doesn't have. They don't have to live inside the decision. you do. They can hand you their read, but their read is calibrated to their life, their fears, and their values. The only instrument calibrated to your life is the one you stopped trusting. And I want to be very clear here. I'm not telling you to stop asking people. Other perspectives are genuinely useful. But there's a difference between asking for input and asking for permission. Input adds to your knowing. Permission seeking replaces it. So one makes you wiser and the other one makes you smaller and trapped. So one thing I want you to try, and it's small, so almost embarrassingly small, which is exactly the point. You don't rebuild trust with yourself by making one big brave decision. You rebuild it the way you would rebuild trust with anyone who let you down. Small promises kept again and again until the trust quietly returns. This is not a quick fix, sweetheart. This takes time. So let's say this week, pick something tiny. What you actually want for lunch, or which way to walk home, or whether to go to the thing on Friday that, if you are honest, you already don't want to go to. And notice the first answer, the fast one, the one that arrives before all the reasons line up. And then just this once, don't override it. Just go with it and watch what happens. And yes, it will feel a little bit strange at the beginning. It might even feel a little selfish, and oh yes, we want more of that, which tells you something about how long it's been. But what you're really doing is sending yourself a brand new message. So my knowing counts. I'm allowed to act on it. I'm listening again. And don't expect it to come roaring back. That's not how it works. It comes back the way your eyes adjust to a dark room, slowly. You think you can't see anything, and then you realize you've been able to see for a while. You knew in those 10 seconds. You know about the big things too. You just have to start taking the side of the part of you that already does. That's the whole work, not louder, just on your own side again. So when there are 3 things that's staying with you today, 1, your intuition don't disappear. It went quiet. Years of being told you were overreacting taught it to stop accepting your support. But it's still in there, still knowing things a second before your mind catches up. 2, there's a difference between asking for input and asking for permission. Input makes you wiser, permission seeking makes you smaller. Other perspectives can add to your knowing, but the only read calibrated to your life is yours. And 3, you rebuild self-trust the way you rebuild any trust. Small promises kept over and over, not one brave leap. So pick something tiny, notice your first answer, and for once take your own side.
That's all for today. If you want to go a little deeper, I left you something in the show notes. A quiet first step in your own time. Thank you for being here. This was the Dignity Room, a place that's always yours.